Hello and welcome to the Cardiac Cats YouTube channel. I'm your host, Jacob Shorba, and we are back after another 60 minutes, really 3 hours of our life, of the Clown Brigade taking the field, having an embarrassing game, just doing something new every week to embarrass themselves. That's what they do. But whatever. This is where we are. We're going to start on this screen damn near every single week because this is what the team is. Worst team in the league right now. Genuinely the worst. And I don't know, guys. Every one of these from this point out, it's going to be like this probably until the end of the year. It's going to be the same thing. They're going to lose a lot of games. They're going to be disappointing. They're going to embarrass themselves. They're going to have no semblance of pride, and they're just not going to give a shit, to be quite frank. But Jacksonville, worst team in the league, lost to the Vikings 12-7 with every single thing they could possibly ask for going their way against another fraudulent team. And I don't mean that as in the Vikings won't make the playoffs. Maybe they don't. Maybe they actually do manage to choke that. But the Minnesota Vikings, look, they're my second favorite team. I'm going to be straight with you guys. Doesn't mean they're even close, but they're a team I've always liked. My family has a lot of Vikings fans. My dad was a Vikings fan. We grew up watching him. So I've always followed them very close. They're frauds. That's what they are. This is the kind of stuff that they do, is they play against bad opponents, they play down to them, and you know what they almost always do? Is they lose to them. The Jaguars are so bad. They are such a god-awful team that the Vikings could not lose to them, no matter how hard they tried in this game. No matter how much Sam Darnold tried to conjure ghosts on the field. He couldn't do it. They could not be that bad to lose this game. It is what it is, right? And I'm annoyed that this isn't over. I'm annoyed the season isn't over, that I can't look forward to the future until, 2 months from now. That's what frustrates me, really. I'm not invested in this team doing great right now. I don't give a crap. They suck. Like, that's what they're going to be. But we can't destroy literally everything we have every single week, because at some point, who's even going to want to come here, right? Like, my gosh. And now we play Detroit next week. But look, the way things are right now, with where they sit in the draft order, the teams that are near them, who they play, this is probably going to be the first overall pick. As in, the Jaguars will have that pick. And look, while all the losing really sucks, that's a good thing that they have the first overall pick, because I think this is actually a draft where you can move out of it, give someone their quarterback, get a haul, or you go get a guy like Travis Hunter. Like, there's really good players at the top of this class, and there's going to be demand for that. And that's what's good about where they're at right now. But the shitty part of it is how you're getting there, right? So let's talk about the game. This is just disgusting. I'm going to be honest, guys. Absolutely disgusting to read through. The only score of the day for the Jaguars was, let's see, how far into the game? First quarter, 3:44 left. They did not score a single point after this. Could not do it. And this drive, it was fine. There wasn't anything terrible about it. It was a good drive, but they didn't do anything after this. You look at what Minnesota did, right? After Jacksonville went 3 and out, they managed to get a field goal. Then it's an interception, right? Terrible interceptions, too. I mean, these are not, necessarily the Jaguars making incredible plays, although I will say Campbell's was. He was doing a really good job in coverage on Jefferson, but there's no freaking reason the ball should have been thrown. It was a terrible throw by Darnold, right? Then you see that again here. They just keep doing this over and over and over and playing poorly, and they're doing it in the red zone every single time. They're doing it, throwing passes into the end zone. They're getting picked. And Jacksonville could not win this game, right? Up 7-3 through so much of this. See another interception here. Should have been another interception as well. Ended up getting called back. Plus Jacksonville freaking fumbled it anyway. Talk about embarrassing. I mean, my gosh. Only the worst teams can get a turnover and then fumble the return. Like, who the hell does that? But that's what we do. Then finally, Minnesota figured out maybe we should just stop trying to throw the end zone and just kick. And somehow their backup kicker was able to hit all these field goals, which, not that they were incredibly hard, but you see field goal, punt, field goal, fumble. field goal, and then interception late in the game. This was, I mean, there were some dumb interceptions. This one was a contested catch. Of course, Gabe Davis hasn't done anything this year, so I don't even know what to say about him, honestly. You'll realize, like, this whole year, I've basically said nothing about Gabe Davis because what is he? What is he for the Jaguars? What does he do? Like, the guy was averaging less than, like, 30 yards a game at the start of this year. And it's probably about the same still. Like, he might not hit 500 yards receiving this season as a $13 million wide receiver who's locked up next year as well. You may have to trade him off and send a draft pick with him this offseason if it continues to be as bad as it has been for Jacksonville. There's passes in this game. He cannot have any idea of where he's supposed to get his feet down. He can't do it. He just steps out of bounds. Like, I don't know what to say about him other than it's disappointing. Right? Like, what hope do I have watching him play? And then you got the punt and the interception here, right? Jacksonville, they get the ball back. What does Mac Jones do? And it's Mac Jones. It's the backup, right? We're not sitting here expecting the greatest game of all time, but my gosh, man, the defense held them to 12 points. How do you not get enough to win after scoring 7 on the second drive of the game in the first quarter? But what does Mac Jones do? Just mails it deep. Isn't even within, like 15 yards of his receiver. Goes straight to a defensive back. Intercepted. Minnesota gets back the ball, and you think, well, if they stop him, technically if they have time, but obviously, like, Jacksonville's not going to score, right? 20 seconds left maybe in the game, and they're going to, have to go the whole distance of the field. And what happens on 3rd and 7? You see the time here, 1:04 left, right? Aaron Jones nearly gets the first down. It's not done. What does Trayvon Walker do at the end of the play? Let's just start throwing punches at people. Let's go freaking berserk for no reason. And that's how you end the game. And Jacksonville loses as Minnesota kneels it out. It's not, the frustration isn't as much that they're losing. Like, I get that. I didn't have any expectations really going in this year. I was probably the most pessimistic person, or we'll put it like this. My predictions for the team were far lower than that of basically every other person talking about this team. I don't know if there was anyone else out there who had lower expectations than me. So I can accept losing because they've been a disaster and it was partially expected, even if not to this extent. But when you lose in this regard and you're that embarrassing, it's a whole nother level. Like, just be bad at football. Don't freaking make it a sport of how ridiculous we can be, right? Here's another thing we'll complain about. Don't wait until like the fourth quarter to throw a pass to Brian Thomas Jr. The fourth quarter. And maybe you threw one to him before. I don't give a crap. 12 yards on the day, 2 receptions. And I watched the receptions at the end of the game. Will not get him involved. Like, what is the plan for this team? What am I, when I'm talking about Doug Peterson and Press Taylor, what are they good at? What is one thing they're successful at? What is one thing they've ever been successful at in Jacksonville? I don't know. I don't know what the identity of this team is. I don't know what they want to be. No one knows. There's no plan. This is what they are. They're a shitty football team. A really bad football team. It's just sad where they are. And there's some good things I could say still. There's always going to be good things. The Panthers, when they lost like every damn game last year, could have said there's still some good things. You know, Derek Brown's playing great. For Jacksonville, I mean, Tyson Campbell looks great, right? Hope he stays healthy. He's a phenomenal cornerback. What else do I say? Monteric Brown, same guy he's been, reliable, not perfect, not someone who's got every athletic tool you want, but still just a very smart corner and a very disciplined corner. What else am I noting here? I guess Trayvon Walker had a sack. Cool. You still had the freaking stupid thing at the end of the game that didn't even give Jacksonville a chance to win it. I don't know what else to note, honestly. as hard as I try, the more weeks that go by, like, what's the hope for this team, right? Like, what's the plan? I don't know. I think this is almost turning from where we thought we just needed new leadership and to bring in a couple guys and to rework some of the roster to just almost being like a full-blown freaking rebuild. I mean, not just partial, but strip this damn thing down to studs. Did we do that? No. The season was over before this week, okay, guys? What did we do? Well, we didn't fire anyone, kept everyone in charge, and we let them decide. And lo and behold, would you believe that the people who have their necks on the line right now, because they could get fired at the end of this year, and they better be. If they aren't, don't go to the freaking game. It's not worth your time. Don't invest in this team. It's not worth your time. I'll still be here, but I sure as heck won't do much more than this. But what do, right? They hold on to all their players. They don't trade anyone, because even though they might have got the best deal they would have ever got for him, before they run him into the ground, and they don't do anything at the end of this year, let's just sit put, because that might give me a 1% chance to turn this thing around, and I think 1% is generous. This is a really bad football team, guys. Don't trick yourself. Don't tell yourself that this team, oh, look how competitive they were. Oh, let's take some silver linings from this. They suck. They suck, okay? And there's a lot of people responsible for that. A lot of people. There's players responsible for that. It's all over the organization. Blaming this on one thing is just people trying to find a convenient answer. Because if I can say, oh, this is all just coaching. Oh, okay, just get a better coach. The problem's fixed, right? Nothing else we got to do. This is a lot of things going wrong. It's a culture that allows for it. It's a culture that enables it. It's a culture that has no answers for it. They need a change. I hope to God they don't play so bad next week that Ben Johnson just puts Jacksonville on a no-call list. They might. This team is that bad, but I don't know what to say at this point. I just want to see what the heck's going to happen. And hopefully that's someone getting fired tomorrow. I don't know how the heck that could possibly not be the case. I think it should be the whole group, right? Doug, Trent should be gone tomorrow. We'll see if that happens. If it does, I've got a deal in place to get off work early and record on it. Maybe it happens tonight. Maybe it's happened while I'm recording this video. It should have happened while I recorded this video, but whatever. So there's my recap. I apologize. It's not the quality I want, perhaps, right? Because what the hell do we talk about? This is what they are, right? You're just seeing the same thing every week. There's no progress. It's just taking steps back. There's just a new way to embarrass ourselves. That's all it is, right? But I will say this. Any Vikings fans that watch this, thank you for being this team. They deserve it. They deserve to lose this game. I hope they lose out from this point on. That's where they belong. They need a freaking lesson taught to them. And all this team does is they say they're learning and they're going to get better, and they don't do a damn thing. But tell them how you feel. That's how I feel. But let me know what your thoughts are on this game. What the heck do you do from here? I don't know if there's even an answer to that. But this is the one silver lining, right? Maybe you have an exciting off season coming up and an attractive job for those reasons if you just forget about how they got here and how disgusting it was. So want to shout out our channel members. Thanks to Premier Nasir 904, Mr. Dolphin, Scrubber Ducky 500, and Brian Foster. Appreciate your support, and if anyone wants to join, all the information's on the screen. You can hit me up as well in the comments. I'll explain anything I need to. But thank you all for being here. I appreciate all the support, even in what has just been maybe the worst season in Jaguars history, considering the expectations and the result. At this point, no one can tell you you're not a loyal fan if you've been watching these games. So that's all I've got. We'll probably have something out during the week, but appreciate y'all. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Sorry, hope you have a great rest of your day. And finally, go Jags.